So, you know how in my last video I spoke about how Harry and Meghan could potentially put a foot wrong when they carry out their faux royal tour, and as a result, they could embarrass the British royal family, or even worse, the British royal family could be blamed for the actions of the duo. And all because these two idiots want to feel important again by carrying out these Timu royal tours. Let's look at what is happening in this photo. Why is the VP's husband kissing Meghan on the cheek? And it doesn't even look like one of those kisses where it's like a greeting kind of kiss or a farewell kind of kiss. It's not that kind of kiss. You can tell that he's full on pressing his lips on Meghan's cheeks while Meghan is wrapping her arms around him. Clearly they were very, very close, like intimately close, where she's like rubbing his back as well. And clearly the VP was not very comfortable because you can see her turn around very quickly, and then she stepped in between her husband and Meghan. And the moment that she turned around, I wonder if it's because someone said something to her to be like, hey, look what, Meghan Markle's doing. And she turned around real quickly because we don't know what's going on behind the scene. Maybe Meghan did something very inappropriate during her time in Colombia and we didn't see it because the photos that were taken and the videos that were provided to us, it's very limited and it's very much controlled on what is being released. Harry and Meghan made sure that they are controlling the narrative by having Archewell own majority of the photos and also paying for certain photographers to take their photos while they're on this tour. That way they are able to control what can be released to the public, which paints them in a positive light. That's why I'm thinking, is there something going on in the background that has caused the VP to be suspicious of Meghan and her husband? Because Meghan can come across very flirtatious. The way that she gazes at other men, how touchy-feely she is. I wouldn't be surprised if she was quite flirty with the VP's husband. And had Meghan Markle set boundaries from the start, none of this would have happened. But instead, she wanted to show that she's a lovely, open kind of person who's a hugger. She's always been a hugger. She always wants to paint herself as very open, in contrast to Catherine and William, who are very professional. Meghan Markle hugs people instead of shaking their hand, and she gets really close to them and it gets all touchy-feely. What happens is that someone might take that step further and give her a kiss on the cheek because they think it's okay, because she's never set those boundaries to be like, hey, no, you can't do that. And that's what happened here, where the vice president's husband kissed Meghan on the cheeks because he thought it was okay. And she pulls him in and hugs him and rubs his back and basically enables that behaviour, I guess. Compare that with the Princess of Wales, who, let's have a look at when she attended the Top Gun 2 premiere, right? Where Tom Cruise, being a gentleman that he is, he put out his hand to help her up the steps at the event. And of course, Catherine, being polite, in that moment, she's not going to reject him. So what she did was she put her hand out and was assisted by him. But then you see her switching her clutch over to the other side of her hand, so that way Tom Cruise doesn't do that again. And then when Tom Cruise isn't close to her, she switches her clutch over to William's side. And then as soon as he's next to her again, she switches the clutch over to Tom Cruise's side again. She was able to think on the spot and to set her boundaries. At the end of the day, she is a royal. And if she doesn't set boundaries, then people are going to take it one step further. And next thing you know, they're in your personal space. And they can't do that with royals. And that's why she has to set boundaries and be more formal. Whereas Meghan doesn't do that. Meghan just throws herself on everyone, including other people's husbands. Catherine is full of class, and Meghan does not have any class at all. She's absolutely classless. Now, let's not forget as well, Meghan's salsa dancing. So Harry and Meghan were at another event where they were pulled up to, do a bit of dancing, and, it's fine. You can see that everyone else is kind of just moving, just having a bit of fun, nothing crazy. And then you start seeing that Meghan made it all by herself. And I bet you that she practiced this moment. You can see that she identified where the camera is, right? And then she starts shaking her booty right in front of other people, kids, the vice president's husband. You can see that he glanced over very quickly and had a look at her. And it wasn't just like, a bit of salsa dancing. She was literally shaking her booty in front of everyone. Does that seem royal-like to you? And what's worse is that she's not even dancing with her husband. She's dancing with some other man. And so in the end, you see that this other lady stepped in abruptly to interject the man and Meghan. And she stepped in so that way that man can just like F off. Maybe she did that to prevent Meghan from looking like a damn fool, which that's already too late. But that's what I mean. It's not royal-like how she acts. She acts very classless. And it's embarrassing to the royal family. It's embarrassing to have that title. Now, people associate her with the British royal family, and seeing her shake her booty like that, that's just, as a 40-something-year-old woman, no. I'm wondering if the VP regretted inviting Meghan and Harry on this trip. Because by the end of it, you can clearly see from her face, she's so over it. She's like, whatever, like, why did I do this? What have I done? Now, it's not a video without talking about dimwit Harry, huh? So Harry, being the idiot that he is, he has adopted Meghan's style of invading other people's spaces. Personal space. Harry decides on the first day of their trip, they attended some event where they watch a performance that was supposed to be some kind of traditional dance. I read online that some people who are from Colombia, they were like, this is not a traditional dance. I don't know what kind of dance this is. But anyways, Harry and Meghan watched this performance put on for them, and Harry was sitting next to the interpreter. Well, articles online said that she's an interpreter, but he was sitting next to her. And he has his arms on her chair and his legs are wide open. He's leaning towards her. And you can tell that she's not very comfortable because she placed her hands in between her legs. And you can tell that she's very kind of closed off, as if she's trying to protect herself. And it's a very protective sort of position. And you can tell that she's leaning forward as well to avoid Harry's arms. There's just no self-awareness when it comes to Harry. I mean, I understand that later on you can see him leaning over because he needed to talk to someone who was behind that woman. But come on, have some manners and decency to have that person come closer to you so you don't lean over someone else's chair and invade their space. Where the hell are your manners? It's like 30-something years of etiquette training, and that's gone down the drain after being with Meghan Markle, an uncultured woman. He has totally thrown away his manners and how he should behave, because it's not right. You can tell that lady's very uncomfortable. She's that poor woman. Harry's just up in her space. These two just don't get it. They think that everyone wants to be around them and everyone's okay with them invading everyone's personal space. When some people don't like that, they don't want to be hugged. They don't want to be touched. No, the royal family would be mortified, absolutely mortified if they saw these photos and these videos. This is no way to act as a royal. The royals do not put a foot wrong. And if they do, they act fast to rectify the problems or the issues. But not Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan, they don't care if they act inappropriately. They don't care if they are being disrespectful, because at the end of the day, they think that, they're above everyone else because they're royals and that no one else should speak out against them. And they think they're perfect. And I think everyone's just had enough. Everyone's calling them out on their BS. And they can cry about it as much as they want and claim it as bullying, but it's not. Because at this day and age, celebrities are being called out for their bad behaviour. And you see all over the internet. It happened with J-Lo, and now it's happening with Blake Lively. No one's putting up with crap anymore. Everyone is holding celebrities accountable for their action. And Harry and Meghan are no different. Okay, what do you guys think the, worst behaviour displayed by Harry and Meghan during their I don't want to keep saying royal tour, during their visit to Colombia? What do you think was the worst? I think that booty shaking was terrible. Keep that for the clubs and whatever you guys do at home. I don't know. But don't do that when you're out in public with there's kids around and, you're supposed to be in a professional setting. Don't do that. But anyways, yeah, that's it. Bye.